Anonymous. State of corruption. Today I am going to discuss with you about another judge that makes my most corrupted list. Judge Amy Messer. Judge Messer is another corrupt judge, nominated by the corrupt former Governor Maggie Hassan. Her appointment was approved by Executive Council on May 18, 2016. Prior to her appointment, Messer was the executive director of the Disability Rights Center in Concord. She had previously worked as the assistant director of the New Hampshire Public Defender's Office. They work with the corrupt courts. They are owned by the corrupt judges. This is a judge that never argued a case in a superior court. Judge Messer violated Mike Gill's constitutional rights in regards to his public signs about the people who are corrupt in the state of New Hampshire, varying from corrupt judges, lawyers, politicians, and businessmen. The First Amendment allows people to speak freely about their views, and to expose the truth about corrupt politicians, lawyers, judges, and businessmen. It isn't defamation of character because Mike Gill has packets of evidence and witnesses that would have been damning to the corrupt. But the corrupt judges refused to provide them protection, because they knew that if the witnesses spoke, that all of the drug dealers and their lawyers would go to jail, including the judges themselves. Judge Messer said that Mike Gill's signs violated the condos bylaws, but the Constitution clearly outranks any bylaws. Any judge knows that. Judge Messer is another corrupt judge in the state that is another pawn of the corrupt politicians and law firms. Judge Messer's ruling Mike Gill in contempt is a countermeasure to shut Mike Gill and state of corruption down. This is once again the state government's and federal government's attempt to cover up about the activities of the corrupt law firms, politicians, and drug cartels in the state. Judge Messer is one of many judges in the state of New Hampshire not abiding the Constitution. She is serving in the best interests of the corrupt politicians, law firms, and businessmen, and not in the best interests of the people. I tell you, she already made her ruling well before Mike Gill came before her in court. It is sad that these judges are working in conspiracy with the corrupt in the state to lessen the quality of people's lives for them. And the fact that Judge Messer also refused to look at Mike Gill's evidence only proves her guilt for covering her fellow corrupt judges. Again, Mike Gill has huge amounts of evidence of the corrupt illicit activities, which clearly justify for keeping his signs on. If what Mike Gill is saying isn't true, trust me, I know what he says is true. He wouldn't have kept his signs on for so many years, losing millions in revenue. He could think to hell with people in the state. Money is more important to me than the citizens of New Hampshire. Fighting against tyranny and corruption is something worth fighting for. Every time I look at the evidence of the corruption in our courts, I always see evidence of these judges undermining the Constitution and our laws, abusing human rights, and becoming more and more like courts from the 18th century British Empire. The corruption in our courts are tyranny and oppression. The whole judicial system in the state of New Hampshire is a judicial mafia. They control our hospitals. They control our doctors. They control all of the major and minor state and federal departments. It is just a massive cover-up to protect the drug cartels, the major businesses, their own fellow judges, and lawyers. I suggest to anyone whose life is being destroyed by the courts to go down fighting. If you know that the courts are clearly being unreasonable, unfair, tyrant, and violating rights, be brave, and let them know that they are corrupt. The more people that publicly comes forward about the corruption in our state, the more they become nervous, because people by the hundreds and maybe thousands will come out with their experiences of judicial corruption as well. Truthfully, nowhere is safe in this country. Our government needs a massive shakedown. More and more judges are becoming oppressive and corrupt, as well as most of our other departments in government. Fight back. Judge Amy Messer is just another example of someone who takes orders from the corrupt. She is a biased judge, I tell you. If you don't make enough money in the state of New Hampshire, the judges will side with the person with the highest income. Anonymous. State of corruption. Remember, I am anonymous. You can't sue me. I have no legal address. Let's end corruption in the state of New Hampshire. You better expect it to end. Please don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I am not affiliated with Mike Gill or his organization State of Corruption New Hampshire. I am anonymous State of Corruption. Please like, follow, and support Mike Gill on his social media pages. Thank you.